This month on The Spark, the theme is engagement, personal, professional, and even governmental. We'll sit down with a nonprofit that works with America's most emotionally and behaviorally troubled youth and their families, a company known for its risk management and innovative community philanthropy, and a unique team that is working in private and public partnership to curb gun violence and spur economic growth. Have you ever been excited by a new idea, inspired by watching someone lead by example? When we talk about creating change, we start by sharing the stories of everyday heroes who are making a difference in their own way, so we can learn and do the same. This truth is the power behind this show, which is focused on business and community leaders that are leading by example to give back, fuel change, and create new opportunities for the Mid-South. I'm Jeremy Park, and this is The Spark. The theme this month is engagement, so we're going to start with personal and family engagement. We're here with a nonprofit serving over 20,000 youth in 11 states in Washington, D.C., recently named by the White House, U.S. News and World Report, and even the Harvard Business School as one of the most promising, results-driven nonprofits in the nation. I'm here with the CEO of Youth Villages, Pat Lawler. Give us a quick history when you talk about Youth Villages, where we were then and where we are now.
In 1986, two residential programs for boys and girls came together and became Youth Villages. One was called Memphis Boys Town, one was called Dogwood Village.
And one of the things that makes you guys very unique is that you are very attuned to the detail, all the analysis, results driven. Talk about, from your perspective though, what makes Youth Villages different?
We want to give young people a good experience, but we also want that good experience to transition to a better life. So we follow all of our young people 2 years after they left our program, and we want to find out how they're doing. And after 2 years, over 80% of our young people are going to school or working, not in trouble with the law, and doing very well.
And let's put a face to the youth that you work with, because these are some of the most troubled behavioral issues. Before we kind of show the PSA, because you guys have an amazing PSA that you guys have launched, share though from your perspective, talk about the youth that you guys serve. Describe them a little bit.
We primarily serve young people in the child welfare system who have been abused, neglected, have emotional behavior problems, or they're in danger of being removed from their families and placed in the child welfare system.
So let's take a quick look at the PSA and let's offer some perspective about the youth that Youth Villages works with.
They say I'm a bad kid.
Or a charity case. A troublemaker.
Worthless.
There are more than 3 million children in America's child protection and justice systems. Kids who have been abused, neglected, traumatized. Kids who act out. The worst cases you can imagine.
They say I'm messed up.
A drain on society.
Just a stupid mistake.
For their safety and others, some of these children have to be removed from their homes. Separated from their families, they're at the mercy of an overwhelmed system.
I don't think I'm a lost cause.
I'm just a kid.
Youth Villages believes that no child is a lost cause, not a single one, because a stable, loving family can help any child succeed. And we have an 80% success rate that proves doing whatever it takes for children is the only thing that works. If you agree, find out how you can help at youthvillages.org.
So that's the PSA, no lost cause. One of the things, you guys are the experts obviously, and for you professionally, personally, you're out there talking a lot to different groups. What advice do you give parents that have a youth that has some behavioral issues?
There's three primary predictors of young people that have problems. A lot of conflict in the home, problems at school, grades, behavior problems, often suspended or expelled, and also their association with a negative peer group. For younger children, it's very important that parents have very, very close supervision, and when they leave those young people with a babysitter or a relative or a friend, that they really know those people and can trust those people, they're going to keep their child safe. But for older kids, I'm talking about 9 to 18, the peer groups have a tremendous impact on those young people's lives, probably more of a greater impact than the family or even the school. Know who your kids are with. If you don't like one of their friends, help them change their peer group.
Family engagement, there, the theme right there. What are you guys doing? One of the gaps is with the kids that are aging out of foster care, but you guys have a very unique program geared toward that. Talk about transitional program.
We found in the late 80s that a lot of the young people that were not having success if they left our program were the older kids that basically were leaving at 17, 18, 19 years of age, didn't have a support system. And we basically met a man about the same time named Clarence Day. And as I was introducing our program, he stopped me in just the first few minutes and said, I don't want to hear about your successes, I want to hear about your failures. And I told him about these older kids aging out of the foster care system. He said, those are the kids that I want to help. And this is a program to help young people find housing, stay in school, find a job, manage their money, have appropriate relationships, just like every parent would want to do with their young person, to help them be successful in that transition to adulthood.
And it's very hands-on, which I really love. Let's take a quick look and show viewers exactly what we're talking about when you talk about the Transitional Living Program.
As a transitional living specialist, we work with 18 to 24-year-olds on independent living skills, social skills. We help them look for jobs, work on their education goals, find a place to stay, connect them with community resources that can help them not only obtain their goal, but maintain their goal in the long run. We work with them to identify their short-term and long-term goals so that they can become successful adults. Jamesia is an 18-year-old. She transitioned from out of foster care. I started working with her in September, and she identified her goals as wanting to complete her high school education, go on to college, get her own place to stay, and obtain a job.
I have been with Youth Villages since I was 13. This year, make it 6. I recently transitioned over to the Transitional Living. Transitional Living has helped me to manage money, cook, clean, the basic things that an 18-year-old needs to know. How to be a lady, job interviews, things of that nature. Youth Villages, I feel like it's a great service for kids who's in my situation. Without Youth Villages, I would be homeless, no school, no job, anything. I would just be homeless out here in the world by myself.
So we just saw a little bit about the Transitional Living Program. Why are you having so much success with this, though?
This is a very intense program. A transitional living specialist who's a staff member at Youth Villages has caseloads of about 7 to 9 young people that are on 24 hours a day on call. They visit them once or twice every week. And it's an intense process where that young person knows this staffer is going to be there for them. They're going to help them if they have a good day or a bad day. They're going to help them with the job. They're going to help them with their school problems. They're going to help them with their relationship problems. They're going to be there like a supportive and loving, caring parent.
And when you talk about the success overall with Youth Villages, you guys are really achieving amazing results. Talk about some of the success you're having. I mean, way over 80% in most cases, which is way above the norm. But share in your words some of the success that you guys are having with Youth Villages overall.
Yeah. Obviously, our primary focus is to give young people and their families a great experience, but hopefully that'll transition to a better life. But also we're trying to prove to the governments across the country that we can help transform the child welfare system. The child welfare system is a broken system. Kids are often removed from their families unnecessarily and grow up in institutions, in foster care and residential programs without ever being returned to their families. So we want to show our country that it can be done better, and we have great results, and we can show you how to do it.
And you guys are the force for families. Real quick, give us 1 or 2 ways that people can get engaged in terms of volunteer, because you guys have a lot of opportunities from foster care parent, volunteering. Talk about just a few quick ways.
We need hundreds of foster parents right now throughout the state of Tennessee. We need adoptive families. We have hundreds of young people that need adoptive families, that they've been removed from their family, that can never return to their family. We also need volunteers and mentors, and it's critical that at least every young person has one responsible adult in their life.
Well, absolutely love what you guys are doing with Youth Villages. Amazing results. Thank you for coming on the show, Pat.
Thank you.
Jim Abbott fondly refers to him as Johnny Pitts of Memphis. Many people refer to him as just Mr. Memphis. I call him a mentor. He's a principal at Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance. And give us a snapshot of Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance.
Well, back in 1954, my father, John Pitts, and his partner, Matt Lipscomb, met over a 10-cent cup of coffee and really came up with the idea of Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance. And now, almost 60 years later, here we are.
And it's personal lines, property and casualty, employee benefits. Give us a little bit of the snapshot of the mission and the purpose.
Mainly 3 divisions or disciplines, if you will, of what we do in our business. So we design and develop business insurance programs, employee benefit programs, and then we also have a high net worth personal lines insurance program.
And one of the things, you serve on a number of, not national, but global as well, panels for the insurance industry. Give us a little bit of a state of the union for the insurance industry and where we are today.
Well, the two main divisions are the business insurance and the health insurance. We'll talk about health insurance briefly. You know, unless you've been under a rock, you know what's going on with Obamacare. A lot of the changes have already been in effect, but there's a lot more coming in January of 2014, so be prepared for those. Also, a lot of people don't know this, but Hurricane Sandy was one of our, I think it was our second largest catastrophe in the history of the insurance world, $50 billion worth of damage. That's had a major effect with what's happening, the tightening of the market for property and casualty insurance.
Let's go ahead and switch gears and talk about one of the big trends in corporate philanthropy is it's not just about money now, it's about engagement. And you see this across the board with new hires, especially in the millennial generation, where they want companies to be engaged. And you're also seeing it on the consumer front where they're looking at corporations to be a part of the solution. And so they're literally looking, is that company engaged physically in the community? What does all that mean to you? When you talk about engagement, what does it mean to you when you talk about being involved in the community?
Well, Jeremy, you're exactly right about millennials. They want to be plugged in. They don't want to just give money. They don't want their companies just to give money. They want their companies to be engaged, to be personally engaged, the CEO all the way down to the mailroom. And the people that come on board there, they want to be engaged. They want to go out. They want to read to the inner city kids. They want to go clean up the Mississippi River. They want to do things where they feel like they're doing something greater than just a job.
And one of the things, so we obviously have the Lipscomb & Pitts Breakfast Club, and it's a privately funded catalyst where this team of partner businesses is putting together well over 100 events a year, 186 last year. But the whole idea is to give back and make the community better. What do you view our role with both Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance and the Lipscomb & Pitts Breakfast Club? What's our role in the community?
Well, you take the Breakfast Club as a classic example. It gives really an opportunity for a lot of businesses to do the very thing we just got through talking about, getting engaged in the community. So the Breakfast Club really is it's a live laboratory where companies can come in, see what we're doing, and you've got a choice of 186 things to do throughout the year that don't cost you anything except some time and some effort and some employee involvement.
And I know for you, you lead by example personally. You sit on a number of boards. What are the things when you look at it from a company's perspective, but also from a personal perspective, why is it important to lead by example? Talk about just leading by example in your philosophy.
Well, if you're in a leadership role in a company, and there's a lot of people out there that are in that role, I think it's your duty to do that. I mean, people look up to you. They're looking to, what can I do? What can I aspire to do? How can I be involved in the community? And many times I get a lot of people in our company that say, Johnny, what about this organization? They've invited me to be on the board. And we lay out a plan for what what that term might be for them. They get involved in a small committee and then build themselves up to maybe be the chairman of that organization one day. But the main thing is to just get plugged in and get involved.
When you talk about getting involved, we have a fun kick-out session where we had a number of employees involved in McKellar Lake cleanups. So let's take a quick look at some of the giving back in action.
So we're here at McKellar Lake, which this is the basin of McKellar Lake where we've been doing cleanups now for 2 years. During that time, we've done close to 10 cleanups, worked with almost 1,000 volunteers, and during that time, we've picked up 25,000 pounds of trash. Really, if you look at this area and compare it to what it was 2 years ago, it's incredible, and it looks so much better than what it used to look like. We've worked with a lot of different groups over that time, nonprofit groups such as the Sierra Club, Memphis City Beautiful. Lipscomb Pitts has been great about encouraging not only their employees, but those folks who are involved with the Breakfast Club to come out and help. We have 18 million reasons to do the right thing in this area, and what I mean by that is 18 million people get their drinking water from the Mississippi River. If you can only imagine the line of trash extending into the woods, 50 yards behind us, all the way to the water's edge, and now we're working on a much smaller area of compacted trash, and the reason for that is because of the great volunteers we've had that's come out during that time.
Whether it's with the Lipscomb Pitts Insurance Agency or on behalf of the Breakfast Club, we really just enjoy coming out and getting involved. It takes all of us to make a real impact and a difference in our community. The Lipscomb Pitts Breakfast Club and the Lipscomb Pitts Insurance Agency really want to just wrap our arms around this community and use everyone to help make a big difference. but you really have to get involved and do the work yourself. And so to come out and just, serve in our community today is just something that's really powerful to us as an agency and as the Breakfast Club.
So we just saw some of the physical involvement with McKellar Lake cleanups. You yourself, though, Johnny, you sit on a number of nonprofit boards, obviously very heavily involved with the corporations, but you also involved with the mayor's offices in government, and you were instrumental in bringing 311 here to Memphis. Describe 311.
Yeah, think of 311 as non-emergency 911. My light is out on my street out front. They didn't pick up my trash. There's a pothole in the street, out front. These are non-emergency issues, but they're things you need to be repaired. You can call 24/7, 311, a dispatcher will answer, give you a case number, and usually within 24 to 48 hours they'll have your problem fixed.
So what advice do you give, especially with the students that are graduating, young leaders, what advice do you give them? They want to raise their hand, they want to be involved, they're just looking for that way to do it. What advice do you give them?
I think it's like anything in life, you follow your passion. I'm involved with a lot of kid things with children, and that's my passion. So I think, if it might be the arts, it might be children. Maybe you're going to be involved with youth villages, the Boy Scouts. Maybe it's the Brooks Museum or the Dixon Art Gallery. No telling what it is, but follow your passion. The second thing is, I think, get advice from someone at your company, from a C-level individual that has been there, has served on boards. They can give you some direction and helpful guidance.
And one of the things I'm always mesmerized is, especially talking to students, is if I was to ask you, and I'll kind of preface this a little bit, but what's the first thing you think of outside of your business and your family? What comes to mind?
Well, besides cycling on the green line, I would say it's probably the community. I think that when any business owner wants their community to be successful, so I think naturally we all are concerned about that and worried about it, and that really does keep me up at night. I'm thinking of things all the time to talk to the mayors about, and what can we do to improve our community.
You heard it from Johnny himself. So anytime you see Johnny Pitts out there in public, make sure and ask him about Johnny's three-peat. The idea is simple. He gives you 3 positive stories, and you have to repeat those then to 3 of your friends. So make sure and ask Johnny about his three-peat. Thank you for coming on the show, Johnny. Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeremy.
He's a good friend. I still call him Captain McGowan because he used to be the commander of the naval base in Millington. He's the director of the Mayor's Innovation Delivery Team. And when I say Mayor's Innovation Delivery Team, explain what that means.
The Mayor's Innovation Delivery Team is an idea that was born by Mayor Bloomberg and Bloomberg Philanthropies, who made a deliberate investment in changing the way cities operate. They invested in 5 cities across America and put innovation delivery teams in each one of those. So our peer cities are Louisville, Chicago, Atlanta, and New Orleans, all of whom also have innovation delivery teams. We brought together some bright young minds from within the city of Memphis and also from people from outside the city of Memphis to come and form this team to tackle some of the major challenges that we face in the city.
And each city had to present 2 main challenges, correct?
We did, and Mayor Wharton selected for us reducing gun violence, especially among young people, and bringing some vitality back to some of the core city neighborhoods that have suffered years of blight, crime, disinvestment, and outmigration.
So let's take those in 2 different conversation threads. The first one, let's focus on Memphis Gun Down. That's the reducing gun violence piece of this. Describe Memphis Gun Down. The thing that I really like about it is that it's very holistic, very collaborative. I mean, it's not just law enforcement, it's community engagement, it's activation, it's giving youth opportunities after school, very comprehensive. But describe the program overall.
You did a great job, Jeremy. It actually is a comprehensive approach to reducing gun violence. As you said, it's not just a law enforcement approach. Our law enforcement, I give them a very great amount of credit for the work that they have done. They have been leaning very much forward in this regard. In addition to the Blue Crush operations that they continue today, Director Armstrong rolled out the community outreach program. They recently launched the multi-agency gang unit, as well as the Safeways apartment complex-based strategy. And they are also exploring other strategies that have been successful in other cities. But in addition to that, we have other activities that are critically important to support that law enforcement effort.
And describe some of those, because I think there's 5 main pieces of this, but describe some of the other ones that come to mind.
There are. Well, the categories are intervention, youth opportunities, organizational change, and community mobilization. And so one of the particularly interesting things is the intervention strategy that we found was a gap in our ability to deliver in the city.
And the hospital piece of this, I think it's interesting too. The hospital piece plays an important part as well, correct?
It really does. It's talking about intervening at the right time and the right moment in a person's life. So Memphis City Schools has a really good model with their GRASSI program, an in-school intervention for gang-involved youth. So we applied that model to the streets with the 901 Block Squad, which is providing intervention services for youth who are out of school. And then very soon you'll hear an announcement about one of our community partners who's launching a hospital violence intervention program. Again, a critical time in a person's life to intervene once they have been hospitalized for a gunshot.
Absolutely, and for the taxpayers, there's an economic reason as well, correct?
There absolutely is. We pay as taxpayers about $27 million a year to treat uninsured gunshot victims. So in addition to the tragedy the family suffered, there is a cost to delivering that health care for uninsured gunshot victims.
So let's switch gears on our end to the Neighborhood Economic Vitality Challenge, focused on obviously the rebirth of neighborhoods. Describe a little bit about just that thread in and of itself.
Sure. Well, as I said, the neighborhoods have suffered years of blight and out-migration and disinvestment, and so we're trying to energize those neighborhoods through a strategy that we call Clean It, Activate It, Sustain It. So through the Clean It phase, we're eliminating the physical barriers to investment in those neighborhoods. Activating it is demonstrating the art of the possible in the neighborhood, whether it's the physical change of what your neighborhood might look like in the future, whether it's putting new retail opportunities in there or actually engaging the community through some mobile retail. And then the Sustain It phase is about longer-term policy changes that will cement in place those immediate changes we've made through the activation of the neighborhood.
And you guys have, to me, you're on the forefront of all these buzzwords. When you hear MemFix, MenShop, all these have become commonplace in Memphis here in terms of what we're doing. Describe, though, I like the fact, and we'll see a kick-out section in just a second, but the fact that a little bit of investment goes a very long way. So $15,000 of investment yields $100,000 in retail sales with MemShop. Describe a little bit about that, and then we'll kind of watch a fun kick-out session.
That's really what it's all about, is these small-scale projects with low-dollar investments can yield immediate ROI. So the example you just gave is a good one. Another example of immediate ROI is the MemFix Cleveland event, where we activated a neighborhood for just a weekend, and we saw out of that with long-time vacant storefronts 4 long-term leases that were signed in the immediate. We'll obviously be evaluating the effect going forward, but low investment, immediate return on investment that resonates with that neighborhood.
So let's take a quick look at this in action.
We're here at T. Clifton Art Galleries on Broad Avenue, and Broad Avenue is really the spine of the Binghamton neighborhood, and Binghamton is one of 3 neighborhoods that our team is working on in an effort to generate neighborhood economic vitality. The MemShop project is building really on the success of this community-driven effort to activate the entire street.
MemShop is a retail incubator program where we're taking underutilized and vacant commercial properties and giving new businesses the chance to start up for a period of 3 to 6 months. So we're going to be launching 3 businesses along Broad Avenue. One is called My Heavenly Creations, and My Heavenly Creations is an all-natural bath and body product store. We're launching N.J. Woods Gallery and Design, which is a new art gallery from the artist N.J. Woods, and her daughter will be doing some complimentary design services for small businesses. And we're launching 5-in-1 Social Club. That's a Made in Memphis retail store and a social club where people can come to make things and socialize together. It's a sort of creative making space. We hope that the retail incubator that we're bringing to the neighborhood will be able to create more continuous activation of the street, generate interest, and help further the vision of Broad Avenue being an arts district.
So we just saw a little about the Neighborhood Economic Vitality Challenge, and one of the things that goes with that is economic gardening, and it's not traditional gardening, it's economic gardening, so explain it.
It's really about providing strategic business information services to companies who've been around for a while. We call them stage 2 companies. They may have between 10 and 100 employees. They may have $1 to $50 million of annual revenue, but there's a gap in the information that they are able to access because they just don't have the ability to organically do that. So we're providing them with some strategic business information services in hopes that they will be able to grow, and with that comes growth in jobs for our local Memphis workforce.
Love it. And then what's next?
What's next? Over on Broad Avenue, the kickout that you just saw, that's an example of our business incubator for retail incubation. There are 3 storefronts that are being rehabbed right now, and on April 19th they will open up, and you'll see 3 brand new retailers along Broad Avenue. They'll be in business for 6 months, and they'll be learning about doing business while they're doing business. Later this summer, you'll see another MemFix event that'll be happening over in South Memphis along the Mississippi Walker corridor and down by the Soulsville area.
Nice. Well, absolutely love what you guys are doing. Love the collaborative approach you guys are taking as well. Thank you very much, Doug, for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jeremy. I appreciate it.
While money is a great resource, people provide the real power in making a difference and moving our city forward. A dollar bill cannot walk or talk or physically solve any problems. We as a society and as a city have to step up and lend our time, talents, and energy to being a part of the solution. We need to be engaged as an individual, as a family, as a company, and as a community. Together we can do great things. So thank you for watching The Spark. To learn more about each of the guests and interact with your stories of others leading by example, visit thesparktv.org. We look forward to seeing you next month, and we hope that you'll join with us in creating a spark for the Mid-South.